Hey you guys, got some more Venus battle footage here, and they're just showing Alan's BR. He's up to 21 million. I'm also around 21 million here. I will pass him in the next video a bit, and then I'll probably come back down to Earth by the end of February is my guess. Is Alan will find a way to boost his BR up higher than mine. But yeah, so here again, I'm still boxing both of us. That'll be the case for the 3 videos that I'm uploading today. But hopefully in the future, Alan will be around and we can just have a smoother video with just from my screen. That said, the fights in this video are way tougher. So the first round, even though I only played for out of the 2 weeks that it was going, I actually got quite a few points last time. You know, with win streaks and whatever, you get a lot more points. And so now I'm ranked pretty high, and I'm fighting some very tough opponents. They're no joke. All of these fights, for the most part, with maybe only a couple of exceptions, are really pretty tough. And so here up against Ray, I probably similar pronunciation to Ray, but I haven't seen Ray 7 in a long time, which I don't know if she's quit. Her tune still seems to be in the rankings, maybe? From what I recall, I feel like I've seen her, but I don't know, I might be losing my mind. But yeah, again, just really enjoying this event, and getting the Titans right and all of the timing and stuff is taking an adjustment. I would say I definitely still don't have it all figured out. I still am prone to some errors that are pretty frustrating. So, you know, as a mage, you're in this constant state of wanting to shield yourself with something because mages don't have shields and we're really fragile. So we have to rely on runes, we have to rely on Titans and our Sylph. And for me, that's really why I like Frigga. And so for me, if I don't have a shield on, then I'm just immediately want a Guardian rune if I can. And then sometimes I forget about the timing of my Titans, and if I were just to use another skill, my Guardian Titan would trigger, and I would be fine. But sometimes I end up using a Guardian rune, and then it triggers the Guardian Titan, and it's sort of a waste, and sometimes I can really just screw myself by not staggering my Guardian runes and Titans a little bit more intelligently. So there's still some things to you know, sort of patch up there as far as gameplay goes, and you're never gonna always get it right, but you know, trying to reduce error is something I at least try to do. I don't think there's any fun in playing a game if you're not gonna play it at least semi-well, you know. And so yeah. These guys, super tough. Big Bailey is definitely among the top players. I think Salistar is maybe a notch below, unless, you know, they sort of swap places in recent history. But from what I recall, Big Bailey is the stronger of the two. But in this situation, I'll be lucky if I can even kill these kids. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Do you think I can blow through that shield? I don't know. They seem to have too many buffs and things. Oh, I didn't even get to cast, like, a real skill. No, that's just awful. Okay. I mean, you can always hang in a fight and make yourself seem a little stronger than you are because of the Titans these days. If you use really tanky Titans, you know, all of the shields and all of that stuff, then you can live much longer than you probably are supposed to. So even though, you know, I could drag out that fight with those guys, they're just way more powerful. Here, we saw Electric in the last video, actually, and this is always a good fight. I like fighting her, but she's just at a huge disadvantage because her spouse is so much weaker. Her spouse is still a Knighthood player, which is an improvement on what I had Shock. I actually got Shock's tune up to Knighthood. The tattoo engraving actually helps a lot with that. If you just dump all of your Outland crystals into tattoo engraving stones, it's not that hard to get a tune to Knighthood now. It's actually way easier. I just should have done it before, just for the sake of, you know, getting her to that point, being able to work on the experience. But yeah, so Shock wasn't a knighthood player before, so I actually had heals when I was doing Venus Battle before, because I could put Shock in there and just do a Centauria and all of those things. Basically, Guardian Rune Centauria is all she could manage, and then she would die. And now Alan obviously holds up a bit better. We still have both have a couple people who will just crush us. Sort of getting into dangerous territory here with Electric, even though I'm at a very large advantage against her, and I'm confident that I can beat her since I've done it before. You don't really want to get into a position where like that, where we're getting hit big, and also, you know, there's so much to timer wins, and I feel more confident going into these things with Alan when it comes to timer wins, since he also deals a lot of damage. But there's still two of us. She's a mage, she can deal AoEs in class mode and with a Frigga. And I was just a little bit worried, you know, if this goes to timer, maybe we won't win on damage dealt. So I'd much prefer killing her. It's hard to tell, you know, it was about to go to timer, and it was also, or at least I think it was. I think they're 3-minute fights still. And actually, that might not be true. These might go. The Venus battle fights might actually go a bit longer. So maybe they didn't go to timer and I did actually kill her. But sometimes, even if it looks like you've killed someone, you could still lose on timer. It's happened in my favor and against me on multiple occasions. It never feels good. Or you know, if you end up the winner on that side of things, you just sort of laugh it off. But it never feels good to lose when you know you've killed somebody. Here up against my buddy Oogie, which, for all I know, he's not on the tune, but it's probably Kuching playing, possibly. Doesn't look like Oogie's doing much, is the thing, so it's not super obvious that he's actually playing. But Kuching I've seen in Battleground in recent history and was pretty strong. I wasn't playing too seriously. My guess is that she's dual boxing a lot of tunes. Well, I guess if it's more than 2, I guess it's not dual boxing, but boxing multiple characters, and so she doesn't get a chance to concentrate that much, which is another reason why I'm happy that Alan's back and hopefully can PvP with him, just so that I can sort of focus. It's also more clear what I'm doing. Sometimes even with these videos I lose track of what runes I'm using, what skills I'm going to be doing, which tune is casting what. It's still easier to have both of us in the same fight, whereas when I'm trying to box for Athena War, it's very, very difficult having Alan in one fight and myself in another, and keeping track of those. I always underplay, you know, or underperform, for sure. But here, again, with a pretty hefty advantage, even if Kuching has a similar BR to myself, and even though I've seen her in Battleground, it's very annoying that now you can't check somebody's BR. Battleground, you can't look up their tune. Or if you guys have that figured out, let me know, because every time I click on somebody's name, it's just like, here, friend them, message them, or whatever. But even when you friend somebody now cross server or try to chat with them, there doesn't seem to be any way to look up their character. It's just very annoying. But otherwise, I think Kuching might be a similar BR or strength to myself. I was looking at some tunes that I struggle against or who hit me really hard, and they do have a little bit more BR, but then other stuff it's just resistances, and they actually do dimensions, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. So I usually have really bad dimensions. I'll either do an expert for a few levels to just keep it going for a while, or I'll do an advanced one, which really doesn't really get you much, but that's pretty much my limit with dimensions. I'll do them once in a while and hope that they last a while, so I don't a long time, so I don't have to do it again. Up against Electric again. This time around, definitely at the beginning of the fight, I was being more careful with all those shields. She does have a very tanky setup, which is totally understandable because she's going to be up against tough players and she doesn't have a lot of support from her spouse. But I think being a little bit more careful does help to try and get that, you know, get the optimal times to attack, so that I can kill her and feel more like I'm doing it in a timely manner. They're actually winning on an auto attack, but she's pretty much done for there. Oh, this is the video, so of course going back through the footage, this is a little bit old, but I wanted to do like all of Ares Wars and then Venus War or Venus Battle. But this is one I just ended up changing Alan's outfit a lot. I was trying to make us sort of matchy, which then I was like, oh, that's sort of dorky, and then I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just be dorky. And so I think I have him sort of matchy with me right now, and then I think I gave up on that and then just started changing his outfit almost every round. So if you're into just seeing a lot of different Archer outfits, you can stick around for all of his fights and see what he's wearing. This is a little bit fairy-ish for the Archer. It's not my favorite. I am a fan of, everybody hates the Pope hat, which is that really big crown, but for me, I actually like it in a lot of outfits. I always think it's funny. I wore it for a long time. It was the helm that I would use, but yeah, at a cost of, you know, having a variety of outfits on Alan, I ended up not optimally using the points that you get. So you get 30 points every round, and then you can use them for bonuses. For if you win, you get an extra multiplier or whatever it might be. And I did not use those intelligently, and I think I get screwed at the end of this because of it. Or if I had used them more wisely, I probably would have been able to rank up a little bit more easily. Alan does get killed once, but we're still in good shape. Domenico Dark, I think, could individually beat either one of us, though. Oh, for sure. I mean, he got a kill, so yeah. He could definitely kill either one of us in a single PvP situation. But that's not what Venus Battle is. It's 2 versus 2 with, you know, the revives because of the rings and everything. So you have to sort of be prepared for the long haul. Here up against Dark Kali and Dark Knight. In a situation, just the pair. Often would see them with Cypress and Mago, but or with I think for a little while they might have been teaming up with Chili Mac too. So yeah, they have some big boys with them, and they're still quite strong, just the two of them, but maybe a little bit underpowered versus us. I did in the next video actually drop Frigga for one fight and use Odin on Alan's tune, I think. But I think that was just for one fight. I was struggling a bit, and so I just sort of changed it up, but wasn't super comfortable with it. But we'll see. You know, Alan doesn't particularly like Frigga. I mean, I think that he would happily use her if I was like, Alan, this is what you're using. But if he had the choice, I'm sure he would rather use probably Odin, maybe Thor. So maybe we can change that up in the future. I'm not really sure. I think I'm much more comfortable and familiar with Frigga for this type of situation in particular. But oh, and here we get Robin and Midori, and Robin was just cheering for me, like, oh, go Alan's party, which, you know, is a little bit just poking fun at me, since it's under my name. But yeah, so you know, that's an option to sort of use a different sylph, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, Ilya, you just used Frigga, use something else. And for most situations, I'm a little bit uncomfortable just changing it up completely. I think Frigga is much more successful. I think you guys would be seeing me much lower ranked if I were using one of the other sylphs. They're really just not tanky enough, and I'm not able to get enough healing back. So I think Frigga's great, but yeah, so I will have a battleground video though where I change it up and I use a lot of different sylphs, and so I can do videos like that where I would feel totally comfortable just changing up the sylphs and trying different things. But for these situations, really love using Frigga. We got a chaos on Alan. Oh no, wait. Who has chaos? See, flipping through the screens, I thought that, oh, maybe I got rid of the chaos, but now I'm thinking I've just flipped screens and it was gone. Oh, and that little AoE, just a tsunami, and took out both of them. It's because Robin was low on health, and Midori is just, you know, weaker, relatively weaker. So she's not. If she doesn't have a good shield on, she's in big trouble against the two of us. And this pair. I'm not sure who these guys are, but they look pretty hefty. And you know, sometimes with how quickly the kids die at the beginning, it's almost like, why do you even bother bringing them? But the kids do have a huge purpose, and it's not necessarily just to sit there and die and whatever it might be. It's actually because the kids have so many passives. So you have like chaos resistance, amnesia resistance. The kids also help you not lose your awakening points as quickly. So all of those passives really add up, and they make you get used to having them. And then when the kid's gone, you're like, oh wow, I do not stay in silver mode very long, and all of those things. So so you get really used to all that kid stuff, and yeah, just switching back to what we used to have is very difficult. I think I do in the next video. I start to play for timer a bit more, but boy, it's very unpleasant. Just really trying to tank this one out, I think. I really don't like that ice bolt on Alan, but just have to sort of put up with it. Let's prefer Tsunami. Has that little purification, which helps out, and it's also an AoE. If we had a 6th skill, I definitely would pick Ice Bolt for Frigga, but you know, not the situation we have. So I lost on timer there, and I really should have used my points for the Blessing of Venus more intelligently. I was too busy, or was being too stupid, and you know, changing Alan's outfit, and I kept on forgetting to use our points over a bunch of different fights. And if I had done that, I would have easily made it into gold group, but because I was stupid and just like used all of them at the end, and then I lost the fight, I ended up not getting into gold group because of that. So yeah, just super stupid. but regardless, enjoying this event, and within two of these weeks, I definitely was able to recover a lot of those points, so that's very nice. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Take care and have a very good day.